Chris Eubank Jr. joins us now. Good afternoon, Chris.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're good, thanks. I take it it's been as difficult 2 or 3 days you've ever had, not just in your career, in your life, really.
It's been an emotional roller coaster. On one hand, I am now the new British champion, which is, something that I've dreamed about being and achieving for, my entire life, my entire career. So to finally kind of, get that has been, it's an extremely proud moment in my life. But, then you have this situation here with Nick, which is kind of, it's tough because it's like you're happy, but at the same time you have a man here who you don't, boxing is not personal. Boxing is not, it's a business. Nothing's personal. Things are said in the build up, and there may be a back and forth, and there's testosterone and people saying things, but at the end of the day, after the fight, you want the man to be. You want the man to go home to his family and everything to be okay. And unfortunately, on this occasion, that hasn't happened. So all I can do now is really, pray for him and his family. And if we're going to go off of the type of man that he is, he put it all on the line on the night. He showed true grit and determination. I'm sure if he fights and if he's that type of fighter, he's that type of man outside of the ring. So I'm sure he'll be able to pull through whatever situation he's going through now.
Did you feel at any point during the fight, Chris, that the referee should step in and stop it?
To be honest, yes. There were certain points in the fight where he was being hit cleanly and continuously, and there were and I was kind of thinking to myself, what more do I have to do? What more does the referee want to see? And then obviously I sat down, and my father told me, leave his head alone. He could see the damage that was being done. Leave his head alone. Go to the body. You've won the fight. And after that, it was kind of hard for me to process that. It was quite shocking to hear something like that, because obviously I am still in the fight. There is still a man that's in there attacking me. So to tell me not to punch him in the head, it's shocking.
Sorry, because you felt that at the time in the fight, because there's been some conjecture since. There's been a lot of speculation that your dad didn't mean that, but you felt, listening to him, that's exactly what he meant.
He could see the damage that had been done, and he could see how far I was in front of in the fight. So leave his head alone. He's taken enough punishment. Go to the body. That's what I took away from what he said. And if you watch the last round, I pretty much completely backed off. I kind of, I knew I was in front, and I thought, let me back off a little bit and give this referee a real chance to just look at Nick and see the condition he's in. So I pretty much stopped punching, and that's when the referee kind of, looked at him. Told me to go to my corner, took Nick over to the doctor, and the doctor called it off, thank God, because I think any more punishment would have just been extremely unnecessary.
You've grown up knowing this story, of course, Chris, through your dad and his fight with Michael Watson. It's probably been quite difficult for the whole family. So I mean, did you consider over the last couple of days whether you want to continue boxing?
No, this is my life. I've dedicated my entire life to this sport, and I'm not finished. I have world title career goals that I need to fulfill. What's happened is it's a tragic situation, but I can't let that stop me from fulfilling my dreams. So I will continue to box. if anything, I will actually now fight even more ferociously, because I can now see, I can see firsthand what can happen to a fighter if you don't go in there and fight like your life depended on it. This isn't just me reading about it. This isn't just me hearing about it and seeing it in movies. I'm now involved in a situation where a man is in serious condition, and I can't let that happen to me. So this has given me a whole new appreciation and respect and realization for the sport. So I know I need to be on top form each and every time I step into the ring from now on.
One of those forthcoming fights could be a rematch with Billy Joe Saunders. He was ringside, and you two were having a bit of a conversation after the fight on Saturday. He was on Fight Club here on talkSPORT 2 with Gareth A. Davis earlier on today, and he says he does want a rematch with you, Chris. Have a listen to this.
Why would you come out with that sort of insane comment? That insane comment when we got a man right in intensive care. Why would you say he was not interested in Nick Blackwell's health? He was interested in his son getting a bad decision points win. A lot. That's what he was interested in, not about Nick Blackwell's welfare. I mean, and to come out and say that he was telling his son to hit the... It's an embarrassment to boxing, and he should be ashamed of himself, of the situation we're in at the minute with Nick Blackwell, because, all credit to Nick Blackwell. Let's not try to take his little bit of credit he has got away from him. To be fair, there's a bit of me now was a little bit upset what's happened with Nick. As a piece of me, a little bit I feel sad in what's happened to Nick, and I'm absolutely gutted, to be honest with you. I haven't eaten properly in a couple of days, but I would love, to be honest, I love a rematch just on the basis of what's happened recently. I know it's not his fault, it's boxing, but it's one of the things that stuck with me for a couple of days because it ain't left my head. So Nick's a good friend of mine, so I wouldn't say no.
It was Billy Joe Saunders earlier on. He's obviously disputing your dad's claims the other day. What do you make of that, Chris?
Saunders is known for talking rubbish. He's not a very sensible guy. So I don't really listen or take into consideration anything he has to say. The rematch is something that the public are demanding. They've been demanding it for the last 2 years, and now that he has a world title, it's going to make it even more of an occasion. And as far as him saying that it's an embarrassment that my father had said this because he was trying to protect Nick, all my sparring sessions are documented on my Snapchat account, which is Chris Eubank Jnr. Jr. And if you watch the sparring sessions, there's been many occasions leading up to this fight, especially where I'm sparring guys, and my father will say, you'll hear him say, I've had people come up to me, why did your father tell you to ease up on that guy in sparring? Why did your father tell you to stop going to the head and only do body shots for that guy in sparring? It's because it's because that he's trying to regulate. When someone's on a higher level, when someone's so much more advanced, you don't need to punish them. There's levels, and I was so far in front of Nick that my father had seen this, and he decided to tell me, just like in sparring, if you're hurting the guy too much, if it's just a no contest, don't endanger his health, and that's what was happening. His health was in danger. You can't take that many headshots and still be okay after that. It's impossible. So Saunders has his opinion. It doesn't matter what he's saying about it, whether he believes it or not. That doesn't matter to me. All that matters is that Nick and his family are looked after, and that Nick makes a full recovery. And after that, I would love to get. And there's nothing more I would love than to get into the ring with Saunders again for that rematch and take that world title off of him.
Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Chris Eubank Jr. there.
I don't understand this speculation and this doubt about what Eubank said. He's clear what he says. I couldn't believe Steve Bunce, a man I really respect, saying yesterday on Colin's show that he wasn't saying what he was saying. You can hear what he says. He says, he clearly says, he's getting hurt. He says he's getting hurt. Go to the body. I don't understand this idea that somehow Chris Eubank was trying to protect his own son from or trying to make sure he won. It just doesn't bear out when you actually watch what Chris Eubank says. What he says is there for you to see.
There's a little bit of ambiguity in it. I mean, it's quite as clear.
I can't see it that way, but there you go.